everybody. This is Jenine Klein, and I have Mike Unguez with me today with Spokeasy Public House in the Tower District. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Jenine.
And so he's going to talk about how he has become really creative in finding new ways to get people in the door or to his walk-up window to order beers and sandwiches because of everything's been shut down. And so he's created a website recently.
Yeah, well, that was at the beginning. So this is version 3.0 now, I guess, like recently. But yeah, right after the initial request to shut down, we immediately shut down, and I started like that very night. I think it was a Sunday night, in fact, trying to figure out how to make a website, thinking that it was going to be X amount of time, and it seemed like it'd be a long enough amount of time that it'd be worth it, but maybe not so long that, anyhow, we weren't thinking it was going to, we'd be here now.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that, put it through, and spent a ton of hours building a website at SpokeasyPublicHouse.com that essentially is just our live store inventory so that we could continue hopefully doing what we do, which is our thing that we've always done at Spokeasy is bring in lots and lots of new beers on a very regular basis, and they kind of change and turn over a lot. But if we were closed, we can't continue to bring new product, so we were just trying to find a new way to sell it.
And it's on there's draft, and then the cans or bottles are on a rotating basis.
So it's primarily cans and bottles that come like that from the different breweries. We recently just started filling 16-ounce cans off of our draft. We don't put them up on the website because we're not exactly sure how much inventory we have. So we're kind of more hand selling them at the walk-up window.
And those are called Growlers.
Growlers. Yeah.
That's the can, and that looks like a real can, and then it seals, and then the draft beer's in there. Is it like a keg, and it's only good for a little while, and then it goes flat?
So, yes, these are filled on the spot. We fill them up extremely full, so there's very little oxygen in there, but we don't have all the special equipment that like a professional canning line would have. So ideally, you should still try to have it within a day or two for it to be the best. But I've had some from other places over the years that have held up really well for a decent amount of time. So. And
then there's called the Growlers, and that's a jug.
Yeah.
Correct.
And we're kind of not really filling those. We never have. It's technically allowed now under the COVID stuff. Bars and restaurants that sell food can fill growlers of beer, same as like you've seen probably other bars can now put cocktails in mason jars and things like that. So those are modified rules. So since we have the cans, we're trying to just do that because they're brand new and sanitary. With a growler that someone brings in, we can clean it, but you're never quite sure if it's fully cleaned or sanitized. So we're sort of steering clear of those.
And then you have sandwiches and
we
food.
Do. Yeah.
And there's a walk-up window that you can guests can come in and order right away, or phone
we order
in,
right at the front.
Or on the website also.
Yes, that just started. We just started doing that last week. So last week we started putting up the choices for sandwiches on a daily basis. As a matter of fact, right after I'm done here, I need to scramble back and get those up because we're open at the moment. We just opened at 11, but I didn't have time to get them up there in time before I got here. So there are none on there at the moment. But
now you have two fellas that are on your staff, and they're called the Palzones.
Yeah.
And who are they?
The quarantine.
Your quarantine crew?
Yeah, the Jacob and Mike, Jacob Martinez and Mike Adami. They have been with me a long time. Great guys. They're really helpful. A lot of good ideas. They come up with a lot of the silly content that ends up on
your social media.
Yeah.
And then their back patio is called Narnia. And there's a man who peeks through the fence called Dave. And there's like these screenshots of him in the videos on their Instagram page that are really funny. And he's a harmless, but he looks like your downtown character. It just adds a little
he's actually
pizzazz.
a Tower. He's actually lives right here in Tower, just basically west of the bar. And does a lot of work next door at the Root Access Hackerspace, helps them with a lot of projects. He's a really handy guy to have around, and he does a lot of air conditioning work. So, you know, if you've got a problem, Dave probably has an answer. And yeah, same thing.
So then how did Narnia come about? What is that for your back?
Because the backyard was pretty gnarly when we started. It was, we actually didn't even know that there was asphalt back there until we removed 2 or 3 inches of dirt from a lot of it. So it just was kind of like a gnarly spot before we got started, and then we were trying to come up with a name that. So we thought it sounded kind of fun.
It does, and it was unveiled as you dug up like the book,
and
right?
Exactly, yeah.
And so then, what else do you have planned? Because you're being innovative with getting people to come in since everything's shut down. What's next on the list?
Hopefully, reopening someday.
Right.
Yeah, you know, it's hard. It's hard to figure out. What to do, you know. It's hard to figure out how the right way to go is. You know, you've got choices over here and choices over here that couldn't be more different, and people on both ends of the spectrum wanting you to do very different things, and then you're kind of left in the middle to make the decision. And you know, if you do one thing, you might make a certain set of customers upset that you made a choice one way, and if you do it the other way, you might also send customers somewhere else that are maybe doing things more the way they'd want. So it's really difficult to figure out, to be totally honest.
It's become very competitive.
Yeah, and you know, in the beginning when we did the website, it went awesome, and then we noticed as places started getting different rules relaxed. So like for us, we weren't able to do much because we didn't have the sandwiches at the time. And so we technically weren't supposed to be open and operating. So we continued on with the website, and we noticed as other places started creating outdoor spaces, which we didn't really think we had the place to do, we noticed, you know, again. And so we were like, man, we've got to do something. And so each one's just kind of been a reaction to the last. And like I said, it's kind of like version 3.0, because there was the shutdown and then the opening and then shutdown. And then we started the backyard for us, which was for us opening again. And then now, again, we're back to being closed, basically.
So what do you think when we get to open back up? Are you just going to have a great big party?
We are talking about it. Yeah. I don't know. You know, we do have some jokes about what that'll become. We actually sort of jokingly threw a New Year's Eve party on the last day that we had the backyard open.
Just in case.
Yeah, we had a fake ball drop at 8:30 p.m. when we closed.
When everybody had to close down and be home by 10.
Yeah, we were closing at 8:30 anyhow, so we were like, come on down. We played Auld Lang Syne and did the whole cheesy joke. So.
Well, you got to have fun. This is kind of like a random bad time, and you got to kind of smile and make it happy.
I know.
And then you have bike frames everywhere. So do you love bicycles, or how did Spokeasy, obviously?
So that's how it came about. Was in the beginning, myself and the guy who opened the bar with me. That's basically how we knew each other, through beer and bikes, and you know, just trying to come up with a name and a theme. And it was stuff we had a lot of random parts for, stuff we knew, both things we knew a lot about, and and yeah. So anyhow, and then it became play on Speakeasy for
obviously.
Spokeasy, yeah.
And then I was in 2012 when you opened it. So you've been successful for 8 years now, and now you're jumping this hurdle with the COVID craziness. And check out his website and go see Mike, and go to his walk-up window, order online, get some beer, get a sandwich. He's on Van Ness in the Tower District, and support small business. It's so important, and Mike's a great guy. And go support him in his pal zones over there in Narnia. And Dave, got to go see Dave.
Just might see Dave. There's a high likelihood that you could.
Yeah, and you can see Dave on their Instagram page, and and go check out all that good stuff. And thanks, Mike, for
Thanks.
coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you, Fresno. And I'd also like to thank the show sponsor, E. Coleman Sutton, DDS. Thank you so much.